Understanding the terminology of tricking is hard, it's confusing, but it's possible. And today I'm gonna explain you in a nutshell how everything in the terminology works. Let's start the video with the most important one, the backflip. Everyone knows what a backflip is, but if you take off with one leg to the backflip, it's called a gainer. So in tricking, a gainer doesn't have to travel forwards like in parkour and free running. Gainer can be variated. There is gainer flash. A bad version of gainer flash people call cheat gainer. If you swing and switch the leg, it's called gainer switch. If you add a hook kick to the gainer, it's called a moon kick. If you swing, add half twist and do a front flip, it's called a gainer Arabian. But if you add a full twist to the gainer, it's not called gainer full twist, but a cork. But cork is actually a weird one because you don't really have to do a backflip during it. For example, if you do a cork shuriken or a cork D-leg, you really don't want to have a real flip during it. So these are variations of cork, and usually you put the variation after the cork. But next, let's go back to the backflip. If you add a full twist to the backflip, it's just called a full. The axis of the full doesn't matter. It will be full regardless of the inversion. And full can have pretty much the same variations as the cork. And here comes the most confusing part. If you do the full from a cartwheel, it will be just 3/4 of a full, but it's still called a full. The technique resembles more of a front flip half twist, but it's still a full. But it's already getting too complicated. Let's back down a little bit. The basic kicks in tricking are round kick, hook kick, inside crescent kick, and outside crescent kick. A tornado kick usually has a round kick, but it could also have an outside crescent kick. A pop 360 has an outside crescent kick. A cheat 720 has a hook kick. You tell me, wait, but it already got confusing. What is a pop? What is a cheat? What is even a round kick? So let's back down and start with what is actually a round kick. So a round kick has usually a hip turnover and a chamber before the kick. If you do an inside crescent kick, it hasn't these two, at least very defined. And same with hook kick and outside crescent kick. Hook kick has pre and re chamber. Outside crescent kick has neither. So hip turnover and chambers. And you can basically spice up your basic round and hook kick. If you put your hand down during a round kick, it will become a blaster. And if you put your hand down during your hook kick, it will become a compasso. If you do your round kick so that your butt touches the ground, it will be a front sweep. And if you do the same with your hook kick, it will be a back sweep. Cheat is basically this kind of step. Same step that is used in tornado kick. Pop is a similar step, but you put both legs down. And it's actually a frontside pop. There is another pop which is just called backside. So this is frontside pop, this is frontside pop, this is backside pop, this is backside pop. Frontside pop is usually just called pop, and backside pop is just backside. I know it doesn't make any sense, I have not chosen this. And you noticed how this amount of degrees changed in a way that didn't really make any sense. So pop 360 was pretty much 360 degrees. But backside 720 turbo just means that it landed on two legs, but it's clearly only 540 degrees, even less. Why 720? Because backside kick terminology is based on the cheat kick terminology. This is a cheat 900, even though it only twists 540 degrees or less. Actually 360 degrees before the kick. And this is a backside 900. It has the same amount of rotation, but there is no cheat. Because you could understand that cheat means that you cheat on the ground like the 360 and then you just twist in the air the rest. But with backside it doesn't make sense. But this is just how it works in tricking. Confusing, right? But this is just how it is. And then if you do the same amount of rotation and the round kick from swing, so from the other leg than the cheat leg, it's called swing 900. But this is also another time when it can get really confusing, because if you lean back a little bit during the swing 900, it will become a cork round. And it's not even so much what you had to do to make it a cork round. And it gets even more confusing. If you land the swing 900 on your kicking leg, it will be a swing 900 hyper. But if you do the same with the cork, it will be called a cork swipe. And if you do swing to 2 vertical twists and a hook kick, it will be called swing 1080. If you do the same on the cork axis, it will just be a box cutter. When it comes to differentiating the swing kicks from the corks or the backside kicks from the fulls, nobody really knows where the line goes, so be prepared to some arguments with people. So when it comes to these vertically spinning kicks, you can add always just 180 to the name when there is a little bit more twist and different kicks. So for example, 900 is always a round, 1080 is a hook kick, 1260 is basically a round kick, 1440 it's a hook kick again, and so on. A box cutter is basically a cork hyper hook. So this is also a source of confusion. Tricks can have their real names, the descriptive names, and some nicknames. Box cutter is the nickname for cork hyper hook. Moon kick is the nickname for gainer hook. And gainer hook is not gainer hyper hook, because gainer lands in the hyper landing stance by default. So there are basically 4 landing stances in tricking. So with this example, you can see here's the complete, here's the hyper, here's the semi, and here is the mega. Complete, so basically cork lands in complete, full lands in complete. Then there is hyper, you can do cork hyper. Gainer flash lands in hyper by default. Semi, it's also a confusing term, but it basically means hyper plus 180 degrees. And mega is like the complete landing plus 180 degrees twisting. Speaking about aerial, it can also be twisted, and then it's called aerial twist or shortly A twist. But it's not that much used in tricking. B twist is way more used, so butterfly twist. And the butterfly family tricks are these horizontally twisting tricks. The base is always the butterfly kick. If you do butterfly half twist with an outside crescent kick, it's called illusion twist. If you land this on the kicking leg, it's basically the B twist shuriken. And the B twist can have all the same variations as the full and the cork. Tornado hyper is called 540 kick. If you add a hook kick to the 540 kick, it's called a jackknife. If you add an outside crescent kick to your tornado, it becomes a feilong. And feilong is also this variation. Shuriken round equals feilong. If you do a cart full and you take off with just one leg, it will be called a cart wrap full. If you do a cheat 720, but instead of doing a hook kick after twisting, you keep your kicking leg straight all the time, so you do 2 outside crescent kicks, it will become a cheat 720 double. You can basically do the same kicks from cheat and pop. So cheat 720 double, pop 720 double, cheat 540 aka 540 kick, and pop 540 kick. But for example, backside 540 will feel super stupid. Also swing 540. These are just like some kind of very beginner tricks maybe. But to use these in combos, it would be a little bit weird. As you can see, backside 360 and swing 360, pretty weird things. But if you do a swing 360 feilong, it's called flick flack. So we can do a similar thing with cheat tricks as we did with the swing trick. So more inversion equals corks. So now more inversion equals raiz. So in this case, the base trick is now the raiz, and you can do, for example, raiz hyper hook, raiz D leg. It's called envergado. The raiz hyper hook is called windex. These are nicknames again. And if you do a raiz swipe, it's called side swipe, basically inverted 540 kick. And then if you do the side swipe and add a twist after the swipe, it becomes a snapu swipe. And if you do a side swipe and a hook kick, so a swipe knife, this is the name of the trick. It's also the name of the variation, same with snapu. You can add this variation to, for example, fulls, corks, B-twists, whatever. So a snapu means that there is a swipe plus a twist. Both are included in this term. And if you do a D-leg and then twist, it's always called D-leg twist, not D-leg snapu, because snapu is swipe plus twist. And if you do raiz D-leg twist, it's called envergado gyro, or maybe envergado twist. Usually gyro is when you twist completely vertically, and twist is when there is flipping momentum while twisting. Full snapu and full D-leg twist are double full variations. Double usually means that there is two of something. Two kicks or two twists, usually two twists. Combos are very important in tricking, and tricks are comboed together with transitions. There are several transitions. The most common are redirect, vanish, swing, pop, punch, wrap. Some lesser used ones are carry through, misleg, reversal, reverse pop, also very much underutilized. Also skip is a transition, but it's basically similar to vanish, just done a little bit differently. So the redirect is probably the most simple transition there is. It's just like right, left, right, or left, right, left. Actually, vanish is even more simple. It's just like left, right, or right, left. Either or. Reversal is very similar to a redirect, but there is a small slide on the leg. So it's like landing left, putting the right leg down, and then right, left, take off. Skip is like a vanish with a hop. So there is a moment when both legs are in the air at the same time. Swings are fairly simple. There is a back swing, then there is the front swing, then there is also the master swing. And here is a new trick that we have not introduced yet. It's called GMS, aka Grand Master Swipe. Then there is wrap. So basically you land on one leg and immediately take off. Basically the outside leg wraps behind the base leg. And carry through is almost like a wrap, but there is small adjustment in between. And then there is pop. It's basically that you land like left, right, or right, left, and then you jump off two legs after that. Reverse pop, like the name suggests, it's basically the pop but in reverse order. So you land on both legs and then you take 1, 2 with your legs. And then lastly we have the punch, the tumbling transition, also used in tricking a little bit, and it's basically that you land on both legs and then immediately jump off them. Speaking about tumbling, there are many backflip variations in tricking. This kind of side flip with a leg grab is called Terada grab, named by Steve Terada, who created this trick. One of my favorite Arabian variations is the Arabian scissor. It's like an Arabian step out, but with the other leg. And I don't call these cart front flips, even though they don't really have like the real Arabian turn before the front flip. But because cart fulls are also fulls, it makes sense to call these Arabians. There are plenty of so-called setup moves. Scoot, master scoot, TD race, Gumby, obviously cartwheel. Honestly, any trick works as a setup if you do it well. Honestly, my brain is starting to not feel so sharp anymore. So one good interesting thing that you should know is that if you do a hook plus gyro, it's called gyro for some reason. If you do a shuriken, keep going and do the other kick, it will be called shuriken cutter. So originally shuriken cutter was like shuriken box cutter, so only for corks. Like the box cutter is cork hyperhook, but full hyperhook is only full hyperhook, not full box cutter. But nowadays people just call shuriken cutter like full shuriken cutter, cork shuriken cutter, beat with shuriken cutter, like everything is a shuriken cutter. There is so many different combination variations, so technically you could make a trick name super long. Some variations you can't combine, for example D-leg and shuriken, because they happen at the same time, you can't combine them. But if you would do like D-leg twist shuriken, that would work if you are just that good. But yeah, I think this video has enough stuff right now. I know that there is something even more than this, but it doesn't really matter. I think this has now enough. In a nutshell. This has everything in a nutshell, I think. So yeah, check out my tricking tutorials playlist. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you enjoyed the video, please like the video, boost the algorithm, all this good stuff.